everyone. Good afternoon. I want to start with a small question. What if the job that you're doing right now or the business that you're building right now, just what if you run into a dead end and you don't know what to do anymore? You don't know how to exploit what you've learned till now. What do you do then? This is the question that I'll be trying to answer today. So, hi, I'm Ritika, I'm an actor. I started acting when I was 6 years old. So the first time I stepped onto a stage like this, it was to perform a theatre play. I was 6 years old back then, and I fell in love with the performing arts. After that, I was just this little normal, simple girl walking on her straight path, just like everyone else, every other kid in the school. I would go to school, I would study, come back home, not do my homework, fight a lot with my brother, and that's it. That was my life. But then, one fine day, something happened that kind of changed my life. I was 9 years old, and I got an offer to star in a daily soap, a TV serial. It sounded interesting, it sounded something different and very cool, but accepting the offer meant taking a side step from my normal, comfortable, straight path and venturing into an industry that I knew nothing about. My parents knew nothing about it. No one is from the film industry. And it meant working for about 12 to 13 hours every single day at the age of 9. But then, I don't know why, I said yes. And I took that side step. Now let me tell you the side step. It paid off quite well because I started getting many offers for daily soaps. I did about 4 serials back to back. I was getting paid at the age of 9 and 11 and 12 when everyone else around me was studying, and I was very comfortable. I felt like this little side step. It became my new straight path, and now I just want to keep walking on it, and I'm very comfortable. But then again, at the age of 14, something happened again. Along the way, I had learned a few acting skills that I would exploit every single day when I would go on the set. One of it was crying on cue. So I could literally bring tears into my eyes and they would start overflowing at the snap of my fingers. And I was very proud of it. So at the age of 14, I was shooting for the serial. I was on set and I got this emotional scene I was very excited about. The director yelled, "Action!" I performed the scene. I cried my heart out. The director said, "Cut." Everyone on the set clapped for me. And I felt like, bro, I nailed the scene. But then, my co-actor, who was a senior actor, he leaned in and he whispered to me. And he asked me a simple question. He asked, "Do you cry every single time you are sad?" And that one question, it just changed something within me. It sent me down a deep rabbit hole where I started thinking, what if I'm just exploiting the things that I know and I'm not exploring anything new? And then came the next offer, the 5th one, a big channel, a great character, a lead character, good money. I was just 15, and the most logical step was to say yes. But then something happened. And I took another side step and I said, no, I don't want to exploit anymore and I want to explore something new. So I said no. The next year I spent exploring some new skills, I spent studying, and finally, after a year, I landed my first feature film. But this time, it was something different. This time I was very excited to go on set and act because I wasn't looking forward to going on set and just crying. In fact, I was looking forward to exploring what the character was going through. There's a big difference. This was my first film. It's called Slam Book, and then I featured in all these other films. I've done about 12 films up till now. These are a few. So it again became a very clear, straight path for me. Just keep doing films, keep exploring different characters that are my age. But then again, something happened, and at the age of 17, I started asking these weird questions like, what if I can play a character who's not my age? What if I can play a 50-year-old woman? What if I can play a male character? What if I can act in languages that I'm not very comfortable with? And all these what ifs, they led me Here. This is my solo play called The Light Catcher, wherein I play 10 different characters. It is in English and Hindi. I play 10 characters from all around the world, different age groups, and this is something that felt extremely challenging, and I was very unsure of it. But I still decided to take that little sidestep again. And till now, at the age of 25, I've performed 30 shows across India, and I've also performed at the Edinburgh Fringe in 2025, where this was the only solo play from India. And I've also performed in London and Manchester in front of all these international audiences. I was very unsure of it, but we got houseful shows, great response, and I took a pause, and I felt the risk paid off, and it was worth it. The sidestep was worth it. These are the 10 characters that I play in the solo. Now, I want you all to imagine that you are standing in a casino and you can see these slot machines in front of you. It's A, B, C, and D. What do? You have limited coins in your pocket. Do you keep playing with the machine A, which is giving you $5 every time you pull the lever? Or do you risk going to the corner machine D, where you can possibly hit the jackpot, or it might turn out to be a complete dud? What do? These machines could be different career paths in my world. For example, machine A is basically the daily soaps or the commercial films that give you fame and money and pay your bills. This is the correct forward move in the eyes of everyone else around you. But then there is also machine D, the corner machine, which is risky, it is unexplored. It is like the niche film that doesn't pay you much. Or it's probably like the experimental play where you spend 6 weeks rehearsing in a basement and you're not sure if people will actually come and watch the play. But that is where I can hit the jackpot of my craft. So, what do? Now, let me tell you one more interesting thing. In my world, in my profession, these choices, these machines are not just career paths. They also reflect in our scenes, in the choices that we make in every single scene. For example, if let's just take 2 simple dialogues. For example, stop mom, you always wanted me to stay behind the camera. You also said I wasn't beautiful, and you just couldn't stand up to dad. And now I feel stuck. So these are my dialogue. Let's say I'm standing on a daily soap set and I don't have a lot of time. I just have to exploit the things, the skills that I already know. So how will I perform it? I will rely on something that probably I can do best. Be soft and a little teary. So I will perform it like, stop mom. You were the one who always said, stay behind the camera. You asked me to stay behind the camera. You also said I wasn't beautiful. But that wasn't true, was it? You just couldn't stand up to dad. And now I just feel stuck here. So you see, I bring tears in my eyes and I exploit the thing that I know the best. But then, if I take a little sidestep from the regular path, and if I say the same lines on, let's say, a niche film set or in an experimental play, then I try to do something more. I dive deep in and I try to explore, like, for example, what is the context of this character and what is the context of the scene? Probably, this girl wanted to be an actress. Her mom didn't let her do that. And today, they're probably coming out of the premiere of her cousin, and she's jealous and she's angry at her mom. She's not sad. Instead, she's angry and she's jealous. So probably they're standing on a footpath, trying to stop a taxi or a cab, and her mother is standing next to her. We've just attended the sister's premiere, and we are standing here. It's a silent road, and I'm trying to stop a cab. My mom is standing right here. My mom is praising the cousin. saying, "She's so beautiful. And look, her new film is releasing." Stop, Mom. You were the one who told me don't go in front of the camera. I'm not there because of you. You also said I wasn't beautiful. That wasn't true, was it? You just didn't have the guts to stand up to Dad. Where are you going now? I feel stuck here, Mom. I just feel stuck. Take her. So I try to explore, and this is a scene, these are some lines that you can do in any different way. You can play with the opposites, you can play with the breadth, you can play with silences, but you need time to do that. Now the question is, do I keep exploiting what I know the best, or do I try exploring? If I keep exploiting, I might run into a dead end, but if I keep exploring, that is still not feasible, it is not practically possible. So what do we do? It turns out math, which I would hate in my school, by the way, but math does have many answers. Math gives us an interesting strategy, which is the epsilon-greedy, where you exploit for the 90% of the time, you exploit what you know best and what you can do best. And then you take a little sidestep, and 10% of the time, you explore something that you're not familiar with. You explore something that you don't know. So, let's say you are a lawyer. Your exploitation path, your straight path, is basically doing your everyday cases, working with clients that pay you really well. But then, your sidestep, your exploration path could be that little pro bono case where you don't really earn much, but that is the case that can take you to the next level, or that is the case that can give you the satisfaction of a lifetime. Let's say you are an IT professional. Then the straight path, the exploitation path, is doing your everyday job and exploiting what you've learned up till now. But then that little sidestep, the exploration path, could be learning a new AI skill that has nothing to do with your job. But by combining these two directions, you basically will never run into a dead end. This automatically becomes a knight's path. When I look back at my journey, it feels like my entire life as an actor has been like a gamble. It has been like a knight's path. Whenever I'm exploiting something that I know, something happens and I take a little sidestep to explore something that I don't. So, the point is, we are not pawns to keep walking straight. So leave the straight path. Exploit it as much as you can, but then also risk taking that little sidestep, because the problem, the multi-arm bandit problem, it tells us that you have to risk going to the machine D to hit the jackpot. So take that sidestep, go out of your comfort zone, venture into the unknown, exploit what you know, but at the same time use that little 10% to take the sidestep, explore something new, and be a knight. Thank you. Namaste.